Okay, picture this. The stock market is tanking, headlines are just screaming recession, and everyone is panicking. So what are the world's wealthiest people doing? They're going shopping. I know, it sounds completely nuts, right? But while most of us are just trying to protect what we've got, a select few are playing a completely different game. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact playbook they used to get even richer during the downturn.
Yeah, this quote right here, it really says it all. And it's not just some clever phrase, it's a genuine strategy. It's about a total shift in how you think about money and the markets. You know, most of us are trained to see a crisis and, well, we run for the hills. But a tiny group of people have taught themselves to look at that exact same crisis and see something else entirely, the biggest sale of the decade.
So you can really see the two paths that open up when the economy gets rocky. For, 99% of people, the reaction is instant, fear. That fear turns into panic, and the gut instinct is just to sell everything to stop the bleeding. It's like a defensive crouch, right? But the 1%, they have a completely different playbook. They see opportunity, they stay calm, and they do the one thing that seems totally unthinkable. They start buying.
So what's the secret? I mean, why is there such a huge difference here? Is it just that they have more money to throw around? Well, sure, that definitely helps, but it's not the whole story. Not even close. The real difference, it comes down to three things: a huge shift in mindset, a crystal clear strategy, and years of disciplined preparation. Let's unpack that first one.
And that brings us to our first, and you could argue most important concept, how you frame this whole thing. It's about reframing what a recession actually is. It's not some catastrophe you have to be afraid of, it's the world's biggest sale, an event to be welcomed.
And look, let's be real. This is how most of us feel, right? A recession is genuinely scary. You see a retirement account shrinking, you start worrying about your job, and every news channel is just this constant drumbeat of doom and gloom. It is a completely natural, totally human response to feel that fear.
But the wealthy, they've literally trained their brains to override that fear and see something completely different. They don't see a disaster. They see a fire sale, a clearance event on the fundamental building blocks of wealth. I mean, the best companies in the world, the most desirable real estate, all the stuff that was way too expensive just yesterday is suddenly on the clearance rack at a steep discount.
Just think about it like this. If your absolute favorite high-end store suddenly announced a 50% off sale, you wouldn't be panicking, would you? You'd be there in a heartbeat. You'd be excited. And that is the exact emotion the wealthy feel when they see the stock market tumble. It's not panic, it's anticipation.
And this quote just sums it up perfectly. A recession is like a powerful storm that churns up the ocean floor. Yeah, of course it can be destructive, but it also unearths buried treasure. All of a sudden, those incredible assets that were totally out of reach are right there on the surface, just waiting for someone to come and pick them up.
All right, so if the rich are out there shopping during a recession, what's actually on their list? What does the shopping list of a billionaire look like when the rest of the world is panicking?
Okay, first, let's get crystal clear on what we even mean by an asset. Because an asset is not a fancy car or a big house that costs you money every month. No. A true asset is something that works for you, something that puts money into your pocket over time. That's the whole point. They're buying future income streams.
So, what's actually in the cart? Well, they're not just gambling, that's for sure. They're targeting high-quality goods. We're talking about blue-chip stocks. You know, your Apples, your Microsofts, companies with huge piles of cash and loyal customers that are going to easily survive a downturn, but their stock price is down 30, maybe 40%. They're buying up apartment buildings in growing cities because they know people will always need a place to live, and that means steady rental income. And yeah, they're even buying pieces of promising private companies or startups that are desperate for cash and willing to sell a chunk of the business at a huge discount.
And look, this isn't just some theory. It's a battle-tested strategy. Think about the absolute depths of the 2008 financial crisis. Banks were collapsing left and right. And what did Warren Buffett do? He made one of his most legendary moves. He invested $5 billion into Goldman Sachs. In exchange, he got special stock paying him a guaranteed 10% dividend. That's $500 million a year in pure cash flow. Plus, he got the right to buy more stock cheaply later on. That single deal, made in a moment of maximum fear, earned him billions.
So you buy low. Great. What's next?
I mean, how does that one simple move, acting when everyone else is frozen in fear, actually translate into a massive fortune over time? Well, let's break down the mechanics of this wealth machine.
It's actually a pretty straightforward 4-step process. Step 1, the recession hits, and boom, everything goes on sale. Step 2, you swoop in with your cash and buy those quality assets for pennies on the dollar. Step 3, and this one requires patience, you just wait. Because economies are cyclical. They always recover. And when they do, the value of your assets just soars. And then step 4, those assets start spitting out cash for you in the form of dividends or rent, which you can then turn around and reinvest to buy even more assets. This is how fortunes really compound.
And when you do this over and over, through several economic cycles, you build what you can think of as a wealth tank. It's this powerful collection of assets that are just constantly pumping cash into your life, whether you're working, sleeping, or on vacation. And buying those great assets when they're cheap, that's like hitting the turbo button on filling up this tank.
Okay, now all of this sounds great in theory, but it only works if you are prepared before the opportunity shows up. So, how can you start thinking and acting like the wealthy? Let's get into your playbook.
The absolute #1 key here is that you can't wait for the storm to hit to start building your ark. The time to prepare for the next recession is right now, while the economy is stable and, the sun is still shining. Preparation is everything.
So what can you actually do? First, get your own financial house in order. That means a solid budget, getting rid of any high-interest debt. Second, start your education now. Read books, listen to podcasts, learn what makes a good stock or a good real estate deal so you can actually recognize a bargain when you see one. Third, you've got to actively work on your mindset. You have to train yourself to be, as Warren Buffett says, greedy when others are fearful. And finally, the most critical part, build up a cash reserve, your opportunity fund, so that when the next big sale does come, you're ready to go shopping.
And really, that's the bottom line. Recessions don't actually destroy wealth, they just transfer it. They move it from the unprepared to the prepared, from the people who are fearful to the people who are opportunistic. Look, another downturn is coming. It's not a question of if, but when. So the only real question left is, will you be building an ark or will you be caught out in the rain?